Alcatraz Island. Known to many as The Rock, this small island has a reputation that far exceeds its size. Just the name sends shivers down your spine. It's a place where history and mystery intertwine. It sits in the middle of San Francisco Bay, a small island with a big story to tell. Surrounded by cold, treacherous waters, it was once considered inescapable. The water swirls around it, cold and dark. The currents are strong and the water temperature is bone-chilling. Fog often hides the island, making it seem even more mysterious. The mist rolls in, cloaking the island in an eerie silence. From the city, Alcatraz looks small, just a dot on the horizon, but its presence is undeniable. But don't let that fool you. This island has a larger-than-life story. This island holds a dark and fascinating history. It was a military fort, a federal prison, and now, a national park open to visitors. For years it was home to some of America's most dangerous criminals. Names like Al Capone and Machine Gun Kelly echo through its halls. Today, it's a place where tourists can step back in time. They walk the same corridors, peer into the same cells, and feel the weight of its history. They can learn about the lives of those who lived and worked within its walls. Guards, inmates, and their families all have stories to tell. Alcatraz was once a symbol of isolation and punishment, a place where hope was scarce and escape was a dream. Now it's a reminder of human resilience and the power of second chances. Alcatraz stands as a testament to the past and a beacon for the future. Before it was a prison, Alcatraz was a fort. This rocky island in the middle of San Francisco Bay was seen as a strategic location. The U.S. Army recognized its potential and decided to build a fort there. The U.S. Army built it in the 1850s to protect San Francisco Bay. The fort was equipped with the latest military technology of the time. Big cannons lined the shores, ready to defend the city from attack. These cannons were a formidable deterrent, meant to ward off any potential invaders, but no shots were ever fired in anger. The fort stood as a silent guardian, its presence alone enough to keep threats at bay. The fort became a military prison in the early 1900s. Soldiers who broke the law were sent here, turning the island into a place of punishment. Then, in 1934, Alcatraz took on its most infamous role. The island was transformed once again, this time into a maximum security federal penitentiary. It became a federal penitentiary. The government wanted a place to send the worst of the worst criminals. These were gangsters, murderers, and anyone else they deemed a threat to society. Alcatraz was designed to be inescapable, and anyone else they deemed a threat to society. The island's isolation and the frigid waters surrounding it made escape nearly impossible. Alcatraz, with its cold waters and isolated location, was the perfect place. Escape seemed impossible. The island's reputation grew, and it became known as The Rock, a place where only the most dangerous criminals were sent. Over the years, Alcatraz housed some of the most notorious criminals in American history. This infamous island prison, located in the chilly waters of San Francisco Bay, was designed to be inescapable. Its isolated location and harsh conditions made it the perfect place to keep the most dangerous and high-profile inmates. Names like Al Capone, George Machine Gun Kelly, and Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz, became synonymous with the prison. These men were not just criminals, they were legends in their own right. Their stories intertwined with the history of Alcatraz. These men were considered the most dangerous of their time. Their notoriety added to the mystique of Alcatraz, making it a symbol of the ultimate punishment and the end of the line for those who crossed the law. Life on Alcatraz was harsh. The prison was designed to break the spirits of its inmates, with its cold, damp cells and strict daily routines. The isolation was meant to be a deterrent, a constant reminder of the consequences of their actions. The prisoners lived in small cells with little contact with the outside world. They were allowed only one visit per month, and even then, the conversations were closely monitored. The sense of isolation was profound, and many inmates struggled with the mental toll it took on them. The guards were tough, and the punishments were severe. Any infraction, no matter how small, was met with swift and harsh discipline. The guards maintained strict control, ensuring that the prison's reputation as an inescapable fortress remained intact. Yet, despite the odds, there were escape attempts. The idea of breaking free from such a notorious prison was a tantalizing challenge for some inmates. Each attempt was a testament to the human spirit's desire for freedom, no matter the cost. The most famous was in 1962, when three men, Frank Morris, John Anglin, and Clarence Anglin, disappeared from their cells. Their escape plan was meticulous, involving months of preparation and careful execution. Using spoons and other makeshift tools, they had chipped away at the concrete around their vents. The ingenuity and determination they displayed were remarkable, turning everyday items into instruments of their potential freedom. They left behind dummy heads made of papier-mâché to fool the guards. These lifelike decoys bought them precious time, allowing them to make their daring escape under the cover of darkness. To this day, no one knows for sure if they made it to shore. The mystery of their fate has captivated the imagination of people for decades, spawning countless theories and investigations. The waters were treacherous and the currents strong. Many believe that the men perished in the attempt, their bodies claimed by the unforgiving sea. But the mystery of their escape continues to fascinate people around the world. Alcatraz remains a symbol of both the ultimate prison and the enduring human spirit's quest for freedom. By the 1960s, Alcatraz was expensive to run. Saltwater was damaging the buildings. The prison closed its doors in 1963. The prisoners were sent to other facilities. The island stood silent once more. But its story was far from over. In the years after its closure, Alcatraz became a symbol of different things to different people. Some saw it as a monument to a dark chapter in American history. Others saw it as a place of reflection and remembrance. Today, Alcatraz is a national park. People from all over the world come to visit. They take ferries across the bay, eager to experience the island's eerie beauty. The old prison buildings still stand, their paint peeling, a haunting reminder of the past. But there's more to Alcatraz than its prison history. The island is also home to stunning views of San Francisco. From its shores, you can see the Golden Gate Bridge, Angel Island, and the city skyline. Wildflowers bloom on the island, seabirds nest on the cliffs, and the sounds of the waves crashing against the rocks create a symphony of nature. Alcatraz is a place of stories. The stories of the prisoners who were incarcerated there, the stories of the guards who watched over them, and the stories of the island itself. When you walk through the cell blocks, you can almost hear the echoes of the past. Visiting Alcatraz is a powerful experience. It's a reminder of the importance of freedom and the need for compassion. It's a place where you can learn about history and reflect on the choices we make. Alcatraz Island, a place of history, mystery, and breathtaking beauty. It's a place that will stay with you long after you've left its shores. If you ever find yourself in San Francisco, take the time to visit Alcatraz. Listen to the stories it has to tell. You won't be disappointed, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing adventures.